Hello and welcome to our first episode of Lincoln to Local for 2017. We're here today with Oklahoma Farm Bureau's John Collison and LeeAnna McNally, here to talk about the upcoming legislative session. John, so the overwhelming theme of the session this year is the budget, once again. What do you think the plan is at the state capitol?
You know, if you look at Lincoln to Local from last year, this is where we finished up, was about the budget. We're in a tight spot again, and so everyone's looking for revenue. Unfortunately, we're not looking for new revenue, we're looking for tax revenue. And so that's one of the big problems we're going to face this year is where are we going to find more taxes? That's a new theme out at the Capitol. We haven't heard that in years. It used to be we have a spending problem, not a revenue problem, but I'm hearing the opposite this year, that we have a revenue problem. And so I'm a bit worried about sales tax on ag. I'm a bit worried about property taxes, LeeAnna's going to talk about. But, you know, that's the one problem that we have. So I've always said we need to look for new revenue. I always talk about water, right? If you look at this from the past, we're always talking about water as a revenue source. We're continuing that discussion. How do we develop our water for a new revenue source in ag? So it's one of the things that we got to focus on this year. It is going to be a fight again at the Capitol. We do call upon our leadership in Oklahoma Farm Bureau to make sure that we're engaged, and that we're part of this process this year.
So LeeAnna, like John mentioned, I believe there's over 40 ad valorem tax bills at the Capitol. Can you tell us a little bit about those bills?
Yeah, Hannah. So there's a lot of bills out there that affect ad valorem tax in one way or the other. And one's particular that we're watching are taxes that we indicate raise ad valorem taxes for cities and towns in a way that they're able to raise revenue. And that's kind of a new concept for municipalities. And we look at municipalities and evaluate their spending habits and their checks and balances on what they're spending their funds on. Everyone wants to have the newest and best equipment to attract people to their cities and towns, but really evaluate their spending habits and how ad valorem impacts that. You know, it's longstanding Farm Bureau policy that ad valorem tax remain low for farmers and ranchers. You know, agriculture is the second largest economic driver in our state, and we want to continue to allow farmers and ranchers to utilize those low taxes while producing an output that everyone enjoys.
So education is another hot topic in Oklahoma, John. At the state capitol, especially after the failure of State Question 779, what do you think is the plan for the state?
So what is the plan for the state? We're going to start talking about this. Our motto at Farm Bureau is improving the lives of rural Oklahomans. Over half our schools are failing, DNF schools in the state of Oklahoma. That's not okay. And so we have to be part of this discussion. You know, I know we're a general ag organization, but our kids live and go to these schools. And if we're giving them a failing education to start out life with, we're not doing our job. And so we're going to talk about it, but what is the plan? And that's what we're talking about. What is the plan? Where do we want to be as a state? Where do we want to be in education? Is it a teacher pay raise? Is it superintendents? What is the answer? We have to know where we're going to go before we can get to where we're heading. And so that's one of the things we're talking about. We're going to get involved. Again, we're not going to be at the education meetings every day running them, but it's something that we have to make sure our kids who grow up in these 77 counties that we represent have a fair shot in life when they begin out and have a real education. And so it's something we're focusing. It's something we're talking to leadership about. It's something we're coming to talk to Farm Bureau about. You're going to hear that message throughout the year. What is the plan? I encourage our members that live out in the counties, start thinking about it. What is our plan? Is it okay that 70% of our schools in some counties are failing? It's not. And so we'll be talking about that quite a bit as we go to the country. But it is a discussion that we have to fix not only in the country, but at the Capitol. And we look forward to being part of that too.
So in November, we saw kind of a shift in the political environment in Washington. What can farmers and ranchers expect from this new administration?
Well, certainly it's an exciting environment, right? You know, farmers and ranchers for years have faced regulatory hurdles with the previous administration. You know, certainly with General Pruitt being nominated for EPA administration, our people are excited. You know, he's fought long and hard for endangered species, the lesser prairie chicken, the bearing beetle, those things that cause hurdles for farmers and ranchers and agriculture in Oklahoma. So our folks are excited and they're pleased with his nomination.
Thank you, John. Thank you, LeeAnna. And thanks for joining us for another episode of Lincoln to Local.